Hello, welcome back. I'm Tommy, and I help people step into their power and find their passion by eliminating self-defeating thought patterns and behaviors. So, I am reflecting on what is a long weekend here in North America. It's called our Labor Day long weekend here in Canada. And this always marks a time of change on many levels. Certainly, it's sort of the official end of summer because typically kids go back to school starting tomorrow. And the season of summer feels like it's ending almost immediately when September arrives. The weather is just different from even August 31st, it seems. The mornings are a little cooler, the evenings are a little cooler. We really notice that the days are getting shorter, even though they've been doing that since the end of June, but we really notice it in the mornings now. And we started thinking about the fact that, at least for us here in Toronto, our daylight savings time will change in another couple of months. So it's a time of change. And tomorrow, actually today also marks a new moon. So astrologically speaking, a new moon is the time to set new intentions for the next 28 days. At least that's the way a lunar cycle works. So typically 28 days until the full moon and another new moon starts. So for these reasons, it came to me that I might suggest and challenge you to a 30-day challenge. 30 days is a good number of days. You know, they say basically a minimum of 21 days to change an attitude or a behavior. And 30 days seems to be, what is typically suggested when challenges come our way. And it just felt like the right time. And I'm hoping energetically, because of this new moon, you might in fact feel the same way. So I was originally going to challenge you to 30 days of sobriety. And in my mind, sobriety is abstinence from alcohol. But I would actually like to challenge you to abstinence from anything that you can identify as a habit or a behavior that you know does not serve you well, but you've been hesitant to let it go. Or sometimes, when it comes to substance addiction, sometimes we feel like we can't. This particularly happens with cigarettes or vaping. Whatever it may be. So I'm not telling you what to select for your 30-day challenge, but I'd like you to try to identify something that you know you would like to let go of. And it certainly can be a way of thinking. It could be that you've started to identify that you're telling yourself a similar story about your life each day that is not particularly helpful, a negative story, something you think of the minute you wake up in the morning, more like dreading the day instead of looking forward to the day, perhaps because of a particular thought that you continue to think. It could be a behavior, so you know that you're very impatient, for example. And I'm going to challenge you for 30 days to start paying attention to your ability or inability to be patient and ask you to start paying more attention to it with the intention of developing more patience. It doesn't matter what it is actually, but getting into the process of selecting something and identifying a 30-day window and challenging yourself to achieve it works on many levels. A, to get started. B, to give you a timeline so that you can see an end date in sight. And B, to see if you can do it. It's really good to challenge ourselves. And sometimes we get so lazy in our repetitive ways of being that we just don't bother. Of course, the 30-day challenge could also relate to physical fitness, because a lot of people pick physical fitness as something that they want to do. Or if you're physically fit already, maybe you've been intending to incorporate something new into your workout routine. Maybe you've always been going to do yoga, or maybe you've always been going to meditate. That would be a wonderful 30-day challenge, by the way. If you don't meditate, I would highly recommend a 30-day challenge for meditation. You would find phenomenal benefit in that. It could be praying, and praying to a higher power of your understanding, getting up in the morning and watching a sunrise and saying a few positive affirmations to yourself and sending a few good vibes out to the world and to your loved ones. That's a form of prayer. Maybe you don't take the time to do that. It could be writing a gratitude list and making sure that you write one every day. And if you do take on a gratitude list, instead of writing 10 things a day, for example, I'd like to challenge you to write 3 things a day, but every day find 3 new things to be grateful for. So, of course, by the end of 30 days, you've got 90 things that you've identified that you can be grateful for. And I guarantee you'll come up with 90 things, and you'll feel a lot better for identifying those and stopping for a moment to appreciate what you're grateful for day to day. So it really doesn't matter what you pick, but I really want to encourage you to pick something. Now, if you were going to pick sobriety, not consuming alcohol for a month, or maybe you smoke weed on a regular basis, that would also be another one. Sometimes it's just good to say okay, to test your relationship with these types of substances. Because a lot of us will say, I'm not addicted to it, I can take it or leave it. And yet, if you challenge yourself to 30 days, you may find it somewhat difficult. The statistics show that since the start of COVID, and there are many lockdowns around the world, that alcohol sales have skyrocketed. I mean, to a really concerning degree. And so it's possible that you might be one of those people who has found themselves drinking more than you might have before COVID, for example. And it's good to test the waters in that way and ensure that we have some control and ability to monitor our intake of substances like alcohol or marijuana. And here in Canada, marijuana is legal, so it's not a matter of doing something illegal. In fact, probably more people are consuming marijuana as well because it is legal and it's available just about everywhere. And then of course we have like gummies and all kinds of other ways you can consume THC now. It's kind of crazy. So you may want to select one of those as a means by which to see if you have the ability to not engage in these behaviors for 30 days. And if you don't have the ability, then that may be something you want to have a closer look at. So that's my challenge. I'm not going to go on and on about it. I just really wanted to put it out there. I think it's the perfect time right now as we end this long weekend and we head in to this new season and kids back to school, and thank goodness most of the world opening up a little bit more for us to enjoy and engage with other people. It could simply be ensuring that you're engaging face-to-face with someone every day, because a lot of people have become afraid to interact with people because of the fear-mongering and craziness of all of this pandemic, or you've just actually become accustomed to being more isolated, which is not typically good for our mental health. So it could be challenging yourself to actually physically ensure that you're seeing someone and having engaged conversation with someone every day for 30 days so that it gets you into that mode and that you're not just on FaceTime and on Zoom and these things that we've come to rely on over the last many months. So that's my challenge to you. What I wanted to point out is what you may find as some of the major benefits of selecting something that does not serve you particularly well and for 30 days challenging yourself to not engage in the behavior or substance or way of thinking or way of speaking. It could be that you swear a ton, just like a truck driver with the way that you speak, and you want to see if you can eliminate that type of conversation from the way in which you communicate. That can be a real challenge as well. It could be that you want to challenge yourself not to spend money on the lattes at the coffee shop because you really want to start saving for a trip because now we can travel. Be creative with what it is you might be willing to do for 30 days. I'm sure there's something, and that's why I'm not asking you to pick the most difficult thing or something that you don't feel like doing. I want you to be enthusiastic about it, but I want you to be able to come back here in 30 days and feel good about yourself and feel great about your accomplishment, because once we start this sort of commitment to changing our behaviors in motion, we actually become more willing to pick something else and pick something else. And this is how we change our lives, if we so choose to have a better life. You have to take action. Yes, you can visualize it and have your mind movies and meditate on it, but you actually then have to be inspired to take some action. So that's my challenge to you. And what you could find as the benefits, you very likely will find. And there are many more, but I just wrote down the 3 that I notice when I make positive changes or challenge myself in this way. More energy. You will definitely have more energy no matter what you're choosing to do, because you're going to feel a little bit better about yourself in the action that you're taking. And you're going to feel, when we feel better, we have more energy. So more energy, more focus. And again, I probably was thinking more along the lines of substances in this particular instance. You know, if you're not drinking, you're never going to have a hangover. You're never going to feel sort of not on your game day to day. It's pretty amazing how great you can feel if you put down alcohol or other drugs, other substances for 30 days. The level of energy as well and the focus is amazing. So again, when you can let go of something that's not serving you, you open up the opportunities to put your energy elsewhere. And one can be to become more focused on things that are serving you rather than things that aren't. And thirdly, finding a connection to many things on a higher level, because we always are trying to raise our frequency, raise our energy level in order to feel good and to give out good positive energy, but also to attract that which we want. So we want to be on a high level frequency, and again, by letting go of things that don't serve us, our frequency automatically rises. So you may find that you can have a much stronger connection to source energy, especially if you pick something like meditation or getting out in nature more. Even exercise clears our mind more so that we feel a better connection to higher consciousness, to that which we are connected to, which is everything. So this can be part of the result. Better connected to people, because you're having time to focus your attention on things that matter to you. And if people in your life and your kids and your friends and your colleagues matter to you, you have more energy to put to them. And your activities in general, feeling more connected to them, or introducing a new activity in order to replace something that you're letting go of. Because sometimes, especially if you made it alcohol, for example, to do a 30-day challenge around, to pick up something else to do is a good way to fill the void, because we do feel a void sometimes when we're aiming to give something up, or some eating habit, or whatever that may be. So these are some of the benefits that I guarantee you're going to be feeling, but write down what you feel the benefits are as you go along day to day, and see where this type of challenge serves you well. And I have every confidence and every faith that you can do this well and that you will have great results from it. And I'll check in with you in 30 days and we'll see how you did. And I guess that means I have to pick something too. I haven't done that yet, but I will by the end of the day, and I'll share it back with you how I've done over my 30 days and my challenge as well. So that's my message. I hope you got some value out of it. I hope you'll take me up on the challenge, and I'll look forward to hearing about your results. And I'll see you again.